Well, hello everybody. Welcome to NBC Game of the Week. This is, of course, I doubt this was an actual game of the week, but I want to get all the teams in before we start playing the better teams later in the season. So this is my chance to get Texas and Seattle into a NBC Game of the Week. And Statis Pro is the game of choice in the rotation. We have 4 games in the rotation. We have Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch, Stratomatic, and Statis Pro, and we're on the rotation now for Statis Pro. Next week, we'll be back to Inside Pitch. It'll be the Yankees and the White Sox from Comiskey Park. That will be the game next week on Inside Pitch. Hello, RJL, Brian B., Brandon Baker, Kenyon Gray. Thanks to all of you for coming in early on the chat. I'm a few minutes late. I was actually preparing stuff for the next Buffalo Bees game against the New England Minutemen, getting my accoutrements and other things, lineups and all set up, and lost track of time. We didn't realize it was so close to noon Eastern, so that's why I'm running a few minutes late. Hello, Replay Gamer. How are you? And I do notice that I need to fix where I've got my phone pointed so that you can see more of the cards, the fast action cards and whatnot. In fact, I'll move the bullpens over to here so they're at least in view. And you can see this is the lineup, the bullpens. Starting pitchers, Jose Guzman for Texas, Jim Beattie for Seattle. They're very large starter ratings of 18 and 17 respectively. However, the PB ratings are not very good. Only 2.6 for Guzman, and I think it's one of the worst you can have, 2.5 for Beattie. So that could be a high scoring ball game for all I can tell. I am using just a standard score sheet that I got off Baseball Sim Research. Is not one that's used for Statis Pro, but I did write in the defensive ratings, the clutch defensive ratings, and the OBR ratings. So hopefully will work out good enough. Texas won the real game 5-2. This game was actually played June 28th, 1986. And I have no idea what that noise is coming on my phone for. But let's get rid of that. Something just happened on my secondary phone, my old phone that I used for music and whatnot. Something just popped up there all of a sudden. Hello, Forever Maine. How are you doing? I tell you what, RJL has a very good point. I do own 3 play games. I have, of course, History Maker Baseball. I also own Hockey Blast and Second Season Football. But watching the Replay Gamer do the golf, it's really kind of scratched my itch a little bit, or got my itch going. I guess I haven't scratched it yet. But being the cheapo that I am, I'm probably going to wait until they have their sale on Cyber Monday and maybe pick that up as another one to add to the collection. Because it really seems like it's a fun deal to be able to do that. The first couple rounds of that are similar, I think, and I actually have another play game I forgot about, Red, White, and Blue Racing. Of course, I've got that as well. And it kind of reminds me of the first couple rounds remind me of the pregame stuff on Red, White, and Blue Racing. Sometimes that's more fun than the actual game itself. So, yeah, definitely kudos to Replay Gamer for doing that. And the mat looks tremendous, the play mat. Of course, you don't have to have that, but I mean, it really probably enhances the experience, and that's what it's all about, is the experience. Let's see. Did I miss any? I think I got everybody that is in here right now that I know of. The board looks a little tilted, so let's see if I can fix this so that it's not tilted. I think it's fairly straight now. Hello, Joel. How you doing? Well, competitive game, that's up to the I would say up to the dice, but there are no dice in this game, at least not in the very basic version I'm playing, which just has the fast action cards. So hopefully they will cooperate and give us with a competitive game. Yes, Tenacious Earl has a lot of stuff on History Maker Golf as well. So does Steve Tower and Al Wilson. So there's like a plethora of videos out there to learn how to play the game, although it looks pretty intuitive on how to play it. Even if you don't know anything about golf, you probably can enjoy the game regardless. It looks like it maybe could get a little pricey if you start buying a lot of courses and stuff, so I don't know. But I believe the community has a lot of free courses as well. If I ever got it, I would probably, pick a season and try to do a PGA Tour season and play it through. But then you need a lot of courses. That's the only bad part. I know they come in bundles, but sometimes out of the bundle, you may only want one particular course. But oh well, that's just the way it is. If you want something, if I buy the game, I'll just buy the standard game as it comes, and then if I like it, which I probably will, but if I like it, I'll then order more stuff. I don't want to order a whole bunch of stuff and then turn out not to like the game and then feel like I've made a bad investment. But I mean, every play game I've had so far, even though I don't play the football or the racing or the hockey game nearly enough, they're good games. I have no qualms with any of them. It's just I'm more of a baseball guy, so when I play those other ones, it's usually offline when I got an itch. But that's about it. I did do a couple of videos with Red, White, and Blue Racing a while back, but that's about it. Everything else has been strictly baseball. All right, speaking of baseball, let's get to this baseball game since it is the NBC Game of the Week, and it is Texas and Seattle. Of course, neither team is in the standings doing very well. The Yankees are running away with the East via the Stratomatic computer, and California has a little bit of a tight race in the West, but not too much. I think Texas is sort of up there, but not really. In fact, I can actually check it out. Let's see where we're standing right now. See how close Texas is. No, they've actually fallen down. They're 17 games out. So really, California is pulled away as well. And the Yankees actually have a closer race with Toronto 8 back and Detroit 8.5 back. Boston woefully underperforming at 16.5 back. So it's very likely, unless something really, really strange happens for the rest of the season, it looks like it will be a New York, California ALCS. And NLCS right now, the Mets have run away with the East, but the West is very competitive. And as I look at the Western Division in the computer, see what they've got. The Giants lead Houston by 3.5. Everybody else is more than 11 games back. So it's really the only real pennant race in the National League is San Francisco and Houston. Mets are 14.5 ahead of Pittsburgh. So they've got that all wrapped up. So I'm just running that on the sim just to have something congruent with what I'm playing for the game of the week. Certainly not doing any kind of a replay or whatever, but for the conspiracy theories out there, conspiracists out there who have these conspiracy theories that Stratomatic favors the New York teams, maybe the computer is trying to tell us something. I don't know. I don't subscribe to that, but I've heard some people mention it since the game company is in New York, that there might be a New York bias, but I'm not going to go that far. All right, we're ready to go. Jim Beattie, a PB 2-5 chance, and McDowell is your leadoff batter. I'm not really going to go into how to play the game. There's a lot of how-to videos and whatnot on that, so I'm assuming most people have already know how to play the game. So we're going to go ahead and get going. I do have the rule book with me just in case I forget something, because when you don't play these games all the time, you tend to forget the minor things. But I think this was ingrained in my youth. This is the first board game I ever played, so it kind of sticks with me. I think it's like riding a bike. So I think we're ready to go. O to B McDowell. And I don't know how well the cards will show up on the phone here. I don't know if I bring it up higher, whether that's going to help or not. I mean, I guess I could, but I mean, I guess we'll just leave it as is. When I do the live video on this phone, unfortunately, it only gives me 720p. It does not give me 1080. I don't have a fancy dancy camera to record with, so got to go with what I have. All right, first pitch, Jim Beattie, 2-5. That's a 6, so we're under McDowell, and that's a 34. O to B McDowell on a 34 will strike out. He will strike out on a 34. I'll raise it up here a little more so you can see it, perhaps, if it focuses there. Yep. O to McDowell on a 34, strikes out. So O to B young again McDowell with the strikeout. One away, and that brings up Ruben High Sierra. against Beatty. That's an 8, so we're under Sierra, and that's a 62. That's going to be an out. He's a switch power, and this says everybody grounds to third, but there is an asterisk there, so we need to check the third baseman, the hound dog, Jim Presley, for an error rating. He's an E3. That says none, so it's a good play. So it's a ground ball to Presley. 2 down, and so far Jim Beatty is surviving. Brings up Pete O'Brien, the first baseman. 5, this time we're under Beatty. 54, that will be an out. He's a left-handed power hitter, is O'Brien. And that's a deep fly to right field, but on the warning track, it is tracked down by Danny Tartable. And Texas comes away empty in the first. 3 up and 3 down for Jim Beatty. I was expecting him to get beat up, but of course, 8 more innings to go, so he's got plenty of chances for that to happen. And Jose Guzman, or as Chris Berman calls him, Jose Mother Guzman, is on the mound for Texas. He is a PB26, and he'll be leading off or starting off facing the center fielder John Holy Moses from Seattle, switch hitter. The flip, it's an 11, so we're going to Moses. 16, that's a base hit, and anytime you get a base hit off the batter card, you do need to check for an error. The base hit goes to center field. Center fielder Odom McDowell is only an E1, so not likely. Nope, no error. But John Holy Moses leads off with the base hit. So leadoff single for Moses. He's an OBRA. He could think about trying to run. And when you want to steal in this game, it's very simple. There is a stolen base chart in the upper left-hand corner. Right up here, you can see the bottom of it sort of down in here, but I think the camera kind of cuts it off. But it's there, and you just basically flip a fast action card, get a random number, and compare it to what's on the board. It could go by speed of the runner, the catcher's arm, all sorts of things factor in. But since Moses is an OBR of A, and his speed is also an A, I figured why not take a chance? So we're going to send Moses. Oh, and the base hit needs to knock Guzman down by 1. Almost forgot that. He now is down to a 16 for giving up that hit. Now we're going to flip the random number to see if the stolen base is successful. We get a 51, and up here a 51 says runner out stealing catcher second baseman. So it didn't matter what his speed was, he's going to be thrown out. So Moses caught stealing. Tag applied by the second baseman, Bouchel, and there's 1 away, so much for the early start for Seattle. That'll bring up Phil Bradley. So you take chances, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing? Yeah, you shuffle every 3 innings. I mean, it's not going to be quite as random as dice would be, but I think I've never had any problem, or didn't feel like I was having any problem with randomness as long as I shuffle every 3 innings. Some people can shuffle after every inning if they want. It's just, I think the common rule of thumb is every 3 innings. That's what I go by. I haven't had too many issues with it under that circumstance. All right, Phil Bradley is up to face Guzman. That's a 7, so we're going under Bradley. That's a 63, and that's a walk. So Phil Bradley would draw a walk on a 63. That's unusual. Usually something that high is normally an out. But not this time. Phil Bradley will draw the walk. If you look at Phil Bradley's card, if I can get it focused here, you can see that 63 falls in that 58 to 67 category for a walk. So Phil Bradley will draw the walk, 1 out walk, and that brings up Jim Presley. Phil Bradley's an OBRA, but I think after what happened to Moses, they're going to hold Bradley at first base and let him get right there. The walk to Bradley is going to knock down Guzman to a 15, so you can see how quickly, if Guzman gets in trouble, he could lose effectiveness pretty quickly. All right, here is Jim Presley, first pitch by Guzman. It's a clutch defense, so there are runners on base, so we will be using clutch defense. Let's see what the clutch defense is. It's to the pitcher. The clutch defense is checking Guzman. He's a clutch defense of 0. So clutch defense of 0, and the charts are up here on the board. Clutch defense right here. 0 column is the left-hand column. I know you can't see it on the board, unfortunately, because the phone is stationary, but it's there. And we're going to flip and get a random number. It's a 77. 77 says no action occurs, return to normal play. Okay, so nothing happened. And we'll start all over again. The flip is a 7, so we're going to Presley. It's a 53, and he will strike out. So Presley, high number of strikeouts on the season. And that's out number 2. As Presley is retired, that'll bring up the power-hitting first baseman Ken Phelps. 12 are under Phelps. 38 for Phelps, and he's going to strike out. He has a big strikeout range as well, and he found it. So Phelps is out of there, and I'm going to move these cards out of the way to give more room. So Phelps is out of there on strikes, and so is Seattle here in the first inning. So we go to the second, no score. I would say from the Kingdome, but there's no ballpark effects in the basic Statis Pro. Hello, old man. How are you doing? Old man music. Sometimes I get lost in the game and forget to look at the chat. I apologize if I miss anybody. All right, we go to the top of the second, and Pete Incaviglia, the right fielder, against Beatty. That's a 2, so we're under Beatty. That's an 85. Beatty is going to get Incaviglia out. He's a right-handed power hitter, which he's going to pop to first, so it didn't matter who it was. He was going to pop to first base, and Ken Phelps will put it away. I believe Alvin Davis is injured at this point in the season. He's not on the bench. So he is injured right now. That's why he's not on the roster. The active bench players are right here. And I got that off the Diamond Mine computer, so I know they're accurate. All right, here is Larry Parrish. 10, so we're under Parrish. 25. Oh, Parrish just misses a home run. Parrish on a 25 is a double to right field. Double to right field for Parrish. That 26 would have been a homer, but 25 is going to be a double to right. And since it's off the batter card, we check for an error. There is none, but Larry Parrish just cracks a one-out double. And the Rangers are in business. Knock Beatty down to a 17. Move these cards out of the way. And up next is Tom Pashork. And I think his nickname used to be Wimpy, if I remember right. I believe Ken Harrelson used to call him Wimpy on the White Sox broadcast. So here's Beatty. 9, so we're under Pashork. 55, which is going to be a strikeout. But that's his last number in his strikeout. 41 to 55 is a K, and he found it. So Wimpy, as they call him, wimps out with a strikeout. 2 down for second baseman Steve Buechele. Usually plays third, but he's playing second in this game. Parrish still sitting there at second base, waiting to be driven in. 2, so we're under Beatty. 18, though, is a base hit, and any base hit off the pitcher card is an automatic 2-base advancement, so Parrish will score. We knock down Beatty, 1 for the hit and 1 for the run. And Steve Buechele, we don't check for an error off the pitcher card base hit, but we do give the 2-base advancement to the runner. And that's going to give Texas a 1-0 lead. RBI single for Steve Buechele. 1-0 Rangers. 2 down. And that'll bring up the catcher, Orlando Mercado. Only caught 45 games. He was kind of a marginal player, I guess, but he did start this game. The other catcher, Mike Stanley, is on the bench, and also Petrali. So they have 3 catchers on the roster. But potentially this was a day game after a night game or something, so who knows. Flip for Beatty. 10 goes to Mercado. 14, that's a base hit to left field. We check for an error. 4 to 10, the left fielder, Bradley, is only E1, so there is no error, but Buechele is going to stop at second base. With the ball hit to left field, his chance to get it from first to third is not very good. And he's already in scoring position. You don't want to make the last out at third base. So Mercado keeps the inning going by stroking a single to left field. That will move Beatty down to a 14. And that'll send up the number 9 hitter, Wilkerson. Curtis Wilkerson, the chance to add to this lead. Runs at first and second, 2 down, 1 already in. And Beatty trying to concentrate on Wilkerson. 5, we're under Beatty. 28, that's a base hit to right field. 24-31, so automatic two-base advancement. Buechele will score. Mercado goes to third. And Curtis Wilkerson gets himself an RBI single. So the runs that I thought Beatty was going to give up are starting to come to fruition. It is now 2-0 Texas. And that third out has been proving to be elusive for Beatty. Lose one for the hit and one for the run, drops him to a 12. So Wilkerson, number 9 hitter, comes through. We're back to the top of the order, and Oddibe McDowell. Beatty needs that third out in the worst way. 8, we go to McDowell. 78, got a high number. He's going to be out left normal. It's a pop to third, and that's going to end the inning. So the inning is finally over, but Texas puts 2 on the board. And they do it on 4 base hits. No errors and 2 left. 2-0 Texas. We go to the bottom of the second. And it'll be Danny Tartable to lead things off for the Mariners. Tartable in right field. Guzman at 2-6. That's a clutch defense, but with nobody on base, we skip it. Move on to the next card. 10 goes to Danny Tartable. That's a 34. Danny Tartable on a 34 will strike out. Boy, 26-32. If I can show it up here. If it'll show and be focused. 26-32 was a home run, but he found the 34. And that is a strikeout. 3 strikeouts in a row for Guzman going back to last inning. So he's got the Mariners kind of befuddled. That'll bring up Scott Bradley. Designated hitter, normally a catcher, but he is DHing in this game. 11, we go to Bradley. 23 for Bradley. That's good for him. That's a single to right field. Since it's off the batter card, we do check for an error of the right fielder, but there is none. But Scott Bradley gets himself a 1-out single. We knock Guzman down to a 14. And that'll bring up Spike Owen before he moves on to Boston. He is with Seattle. Same with Dave Henderson, who's on the bench. That trade won't happen until later. Spike Owen is your batter. Guzman, 7, so we're under Spike Owen. 47 for Spike Owen is going to be an out. He's a switch normal. Switch normal says GX4, which is a fielder's choice if there's no error. There is a dot there for an error. We do check Buechele to see if he makes an error. Buechele at second base is an E1, so not likely. Nope, no error. So with the GX4, that's a fielder's choice. So Bradley is retired, and the new runner at first base will be Spike Owen. So the out's going to go 4-6. Fielder's choice, and that brings up the catcher, Dave Death Valley, with 2 outs and Owen at first. 3 were under Guzman. 66 is going to be an out. He's a right-handed power hitter, which is a ground ball to short, another fielder's choice, but there is an asterisk. We check error on Wilkerson. He's an E5, and there is none. So good play to end the inning. Again, it's going to go as a fielder's choice, 6-4 to end the inning. And at the end of 2, it is still 2-0 Texas. And we'll be shuffling the deck after this next inning is complete. 2-0 Texas. I know, RJL, I know you were chomping at the bit to get to 1961. Great season, and people, focus obviously on the Yankees because of the home run thing and everything, but don't discard the National League. The Cincinnati Reds were a very good team in 61, and then you also had the defending champion Pirates, and so good races in both divisions. Tigers were very good in 61 as well, gave the Yankees all they wanted. So, yes, I think we're all looking forward to that, Mr. RJL. And the return of the Block Dragon as well. All right. Oddibe McDowell made the final out last time. Forgot to move him. So it's actually Ruben Sierra who will lead things off against Mr. Beatty. It's a 6, so we go to Sierra. 14, that's a base hit for Ruben Sierra. It is off the batter card, so we do check the left fielder for an error, but there is none. So base hit, Ruben Sierra. Leadoff single, and Beatty's woes seem to continue. Might be some early bullpen action for the Mariners if this keeps up. Ruben Sierra with a base hit, leadoff single. Now, Sierra is an OBR-A if they would choose to try to run. The catcher, Valley, is a TB, which is the second best rating, not TA. Do you want to send Sierra? You do have O'Brien. You got the heart of the order coming up, so I think you're going to hold him there, and that will drop Beatty down to an 11. All right, here is Pete O'Brien. Pete O'Brien facing Beatty. 7, so under O'Brien. 12, how about that? Now, if O'Brien had been a right-handed hitter against Beatty, that 12 would not be a hit. There is a left-right split factor down here, and 12, I'm sorry, if Beatty had been a left-handed pitcher, 12 from a left-handed batter to a left-handed pitcher would have been a strikeout, but since it's lefty-righty, that base hit will be good. It's again to left field. We're checked for an error. It's a 2-10 for an error, but Bradley's only a 1, so he's not going to make an error. Sierra will stop at second base with the ball hit to left field, but Beatty's already down to a 10. And the Rangers have something going here again in the third to try to build on their 2-0 lead with nobody out. And that'll bring up Mr. Incaviglia. Incaviglia popped to first his first time up. Beatty in trouble, needs to really get something going here to his own card. 4 he does, so we're under Beatty. But it's a 14, that's even worse. It's a base hit, automatic 2-base advancement. Boy, these low numbers just killing Jim Beatty. And that's a base hit for Incaviglia. Automatic 2-base advancement, as I said, when it's off the pitcher card. It is now 3-0 Texas. 3 consecutive hits. And Beatty might be looking for an early shower. And that'll bring up Larry Parrish. Still nobody out. First 3 have reached. Parrish doubled and scored his first time up. Beatty, it's an 8. We're under Parrish. 51 for Parrish is a strikeout. Big strikeout there. Definitely needed. 1 down. And that'll bring up Tom Pashork. Infield looking to turn 2 to get out of the inning if possible. Pashork against Beatty. That's a 7, so under Pashork. 16, boy, these low numbers are killing them. 16 is a base hit to left. Check for an error. There is none, but O'Brien will score. Incaviglia will stop at second base. So we lose 1 for the hit, 1 for the run. And the hits just keep coming, as those old DJs used to say on the radio. Pashork with the base hit. O'Brien trots in to score from third. The slow running Incaviglia will stop at second. But it is now 4-0 Texas. And this is the beating I thought that Seattle might get. Yes, Brian, 86 All-Star game will be played with the inside pitch because there's like all the different colors of the cards. I think inside pitch lends itself to an All-Star game. Even though that's not exactly in the rotation, I'm jumping the rotation because of that, to include that. So, yeah. Next 2 games, inside pitch, Yankees at the White Sox, payoff pitch, Braves at Mets, and then the All-Star break will be back on inside pitch for the AL versus the NL from the Astrodome in Houston. All right, now bullpen activity now for the Mariners starting to meander about, and they're probably a little bit late on the bullpen, but what are you going to do? Let's see how they want to, who they want to bring in or what they would like to do. Bullpen, Guzman, Fireovid, Reed, and Ladd. Let's see who they might want to go to. Fireovid's a 2.6. Guzman's a 2.7. Ladd's a 2.7. Reed's a 2.8. They're going to go to Reed. They're going to pull Beatty and bring in Jerry Reed. I don't know if he's eastbound and down or not, but he's coming into the ball game. Jerry Reed. And Reed has a relief rating of 8. And he's coming in to try to stop the bleeding if possible. Maybe too late for that. Maybe should have brought him in a little bit earlier, but I was trying to give Beatty a little bit of credit. Hey, Mike, how you doing? All right. So 1 out, and the new pitcher, Jerry Reed, is in to face Mr. Bouchel. Runners at first and second. 2 are already in. It's 4-0 Texas. Jerry Reed trying to induce a double play if possible. 6 run to Reed. 81, it's going to be an out. We go to Bouchel. He's a right-handed power hitter. And he's going to pop it up to third, so there's no double play, but he does get the out for out number 2 by popping it up to Presley. So 2 down, and that brings up Orlando Mercado, catcher. 6 run to Reed. 67, that's going to be an out. He's a right normal. And right normal pops it up to third again. We check Presley for an error. There is none. And Seattle finally gets out of the mess. But Texas puts 2 more runs on the board and makes it 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third is 4-0. Most of Texas's players have hit twice. Harold Reynolds hasn't even batted yet for Seattle. That tells you how bad it is. But he's going to be leading things off. So we got Guzman with a 4-0 lead now to work with. 6 run to Guzman. 88. Now that's what the left-right split comes in. 88 would normally be an out. Reynolds is a switch hitter against the righty. So a left-handed batter with the right-hander on the mound. Right-hander on the mound, left-handed batter, and 88 becomes a single. So Harold Reynolds, that's the few spots that you get the left-right split because everything else is very much basic. But when you roll those 88s, or not roll them, but when you flip those 88s or 87s, they become base hits. Base hits. And since it's technically not off the... Let's see, it was actually off Guzman's card, so there is no check for an error there. But Reynolds is on. He's a good base runner, but down 4-0, you're not going to send him. So they will hold him there and flip the order over to John Holy Moses. Maybe Seattle can make a rally here. 4, we're under Guzman. 73, that's an out. Moses is switch normal. It's a G3A. That means runner advances. We'll check to see if there's an error on the first baseman. O'Brien, there is not. So that's out number 1. Moses does advance Reynolds to third. It's 3 unassisted, with Reynolds going to second base. So 1 down for Phil Bradley, top of the order. Second place in the order, I'm sorry. 4 is Guzman. 73 is an out. Right normal is a ground ball to third with an asterisk. We check for an error. There is no error on the third baseman, Pashork. And with the ball hit to second base, or to third base with the runner at second, Reynolds will hold, I think. Let me double check the charts. I always want to refer to the charts and see what the charts have to say with a runner on second. So man on second, and the result was a G5. G5, runner on second. It says runners hold. Okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure that I got it right. So 2 down as Bradley is retired, and now it's up to the hound dog, Jim Presley. And here is Guzman. 3, run to Guzman. 53, that's an out. Right power is a ground ball to third. We're checking the error rating of Pashork, and there is none, and that's going to end the inning. And now we will be able to flip the deck and shuffle them up as the Mariners get that leadoff single from Reynolds, but nothing else. 3 innings are in the books. It is I think they are in the RJL. To answer your question about the splits, I do have some cards that are made where they have left-right splits on the cards themselves, and I like that much better. The little 87, 88, 12, 13 is okay, and it's better than nothing, but it's not really what I would like. And it'd be nice in this kind of game if there was some kind of ballpark effect. I know there is in the advanced versions of Statis Pro, but I haven't gotten around to playing those. All right. Let's flip them over. Shuffle and flip them over. How about that? All right. So now we go to, actually, Mercado made the last out last inning, so it's actually Curtis Wilkerson that's going to lead things off for the Rangers against Jerry Reed, who came in and got 2 outs right away to get out of a big-time jam. He's going to be called on to keep the score where it is. Clutch defense, but nobody's on base, so we skip it. 9, we go to Curtis Wilkerson. 64, that's going to be an out. He's a switch normal. That's a ground ball to first, but there is an asterisk. We do check first baseman Ken Phelps for an error. There is none, so Phelps, handy dandy, makes the play. 1 away, and that's going to bring up the top of the order and Oddibe McDowell. McDowell, 8, so we're under Jerry Reed still. 24, and that's not going to help him. That's a base hit. That is a base hit for Oddibe McDowell. It's off the pitcher card, so we don't check for an error. We do knock Reed down by 1, and Oddibe McDowell is on his first hit of the game. He's already come to plate 3 times, and we're just in the 4th inning. McDowell is an A and an A, so they may try to run him here, even though they're up 4-0. They're going to go for blood. So they are going to go for a stolen base with 1 out. And McDowell at first, he's an OBR A and a speed of A. So again, flip and get 1 random number and check this board in the upper left and see what happens. It's a 56. 56 says runner out if catcher is a TA or TB arm rating. The arm rating of the catcher in this case is Valley. He is a TB, so McDowell is thrown out. How about that? So tried to be aggressive in a couple of occasions, just hasn't worked. Normally the steals are a little bit easier than that in Statis Pro, but not in this game. This game they found to be a little bit troublesome. And McDowell out of there. Here's Ruben Sierra with 2 outs and the base is clear now. 10, we're under Sierra. 24, that's going to be a double. And we're checking for an error on the right fielder. There is none, but it's a double, a 2-out double. Boy, how big was that caught stealing now? A 2-out double for Ruben Sierra. That will drop Reed to a 6. But boy, that caught stealing really saving the Seattle Mariners bacon on that one. And that'll bring up Pete O'Brien with 2 outs and a runner at second now. Reed, 9, we're under O'Brien. 44, that's going to be an out. 43 to 88 is an out. That's a 44. His left-handed power, he grounds to third. We are checking Presley for an error. There is none, so Presley makes the play to end the inning. So Jerry Reed and the Mariners escape any further damage. That caught stealing really kind of set that all up. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Texas. And leading off for the Mariners will be first baseman Ken Phelps, followed by Tartable and Bradley. Hello, Mark. How you doing? If I haven't said hello to you before, since you've come in, good to see you this afternoon, or morning if you're on the West Coast, but afternoon here on the East Coast. All right, so Guzman, 2-6. Nope, that's off Guzman. 88. Now, again, we're back to the left-right split. Phelps is a lefty, Guzman's a righty. 88 says it's a single, so that's another base hit on the left-right split. So that's 2 left-right splits that have come up and panned out for the hitter as Ken Phelps gets himself a single. Start things off for the Mariners as they try to climb back in this game down 4-0. So as soon as I talk about not being enough left-right splits, we get these left-right split rolls. How about that? Since it was off Guzman's card, we're not checking for an error. That'll bring up Danny Tartable. Guzman, 7, so we're under Tartable. 76, he's out. Right-handed power hitter. G3A, and that means the runner's going to advance. Phelps will advance. We are checking the first baseman, O'Brien, for an error. His error rating is a 2, but there is no error, so good play. But his only play is to take it to the bag to retire Tartable, and Phelps will lumber to second for the designated hitter, Scott Bradley. 6 were under Guzman. 78, that's an out. Bradley's left normal. Left normal, ground ball to second, so that'll get Phelps to third. We are checking for an error. There is none on Buechele, and there's 2 away. So Phelps does make it to third, but at the cost of 2 outs. And Seattle really can't afford to give up those outs, but what are you going to do? It's up to Spike Owen now to get the run home. Phelps at third with 2 outs. I am doing well, Mark. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. It's a Saturday, so how can you not? Got to enjoy Saturdays. 3 is under Guzman, 26, and that's going to be a base hit off of Guzman, so Phelps will score. It's a 2-base advance for the runners, but he was already on third. So the single and the run, and I think I forgot to deduct Guzman when Phelps got the hit, so knock him down for that as well. So little Spike Owen, an RBI single to put the Mariners on the board, a 2-out RBI single no less, and Phelps comes in to score, cuts the lead to 4-1, and that brings up the catcher, Dave Valley. 3 were under Phelps. We're under Guzman. 31, and that's a strikeout. So Valley is retired on strikes, and the Mariners are retired for the inning. But they at least strike for a run, get off the schneid. And at the end of 4, it is 4-1 Texas. And Jerry Reed's going to hang in there for one more inning. See what he can do. Pete Incaviglia leads it off. That's an 8, so we're under Reed. 41, that is going to be a pass ball, but nobody's on base, so it's just considered a ball 1. We'll redo it. 5, we're under Reed. 52, that's an out. Incaviglia, right-handed power hitter, grounds it back to Reed. There is an asterisk, but he has a 0 error rating. He cannot make an error, so don't have to even check for that. It's just a 1-3 ground out for out number 1. And that'll bring up designated hitter Larry Parrish. 6, we're under Reed. 74, that's an out. Right-handed power hitter. Ground ball to second, that's Reynolds. Reynolds is an E2, but there's no error there, so good play. More often than not, you're not going to have an error. I mean, once in a while it pops up, but most times you don't. But you still have to check for it. So here's Pashork now with 2 up and 2 down in the inning. Jerry Reed's kind of stabilized the pitching, but it may be too late. They may not score 4 runs. We'll have to wait and see. 4 is under Reed. 66, that's an out. Right-handed normal. Right normal will fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So very easy inning for Jerry Reed. Puts the Rangers down in order. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and Harold Reynolds will lead things off against Mr. Guzman. Yeah, Jerry Reed would be very interesting to play in History Maker Baseball to see if he's hot on the right now chart. He could be hot, or he could be not. Instead of cold, we'll call it hot or not. Instead of hot and cold, we'll call it hot and not. All right, that'll bring up Harold Reynolds against Guzman. That's a 5. We're under Guzman. 28, and it's going to strike him out. So Reynolds whiffs. 1 down. Back to the top of the order for John Moses. That's an 8, so we're under Moses. 78, though, he's going to be out. A switch normal. Switch normal. Grounds to second. Possible error on Buechele. No error, so Buechele makes the play. 2 up and 2 down very quickly. And that brings up Phil Bradley. 4, we're under Guzman. 52, that's an out. Bradley, right normal. Grounds to first. We check O'Brien for an error. There is none. And the inning is over. So 1, 2, 3 inning on both sides here in the 5th. We go to the 6th. Still 4-1 in favor of Texas. And Pashork will lead things off. Actually, it's Buechele. I keep forgetting to flip the last guy in the order. It's actually Buechele is going to lead off against Reed. This is probably Reed's last inning. Just realistically, you don't want to, you're not going to run him in the ground. So here's Buechele, 7. It's under Reed. 86. That's going to be an out. Right power is a fly to center field. So 1 away as he flies out to Moses. 1 down, and that brings up Orlando Mercado. 10, we're under Mercado. 62 is an out, right normal. Flies to center, so another fly ball out to Moses. 2 up and 2 down. And it brings up the number 9 hitter, Curtis Wilkerson. All of a sudden, the offenses for both teams are kind of going dormant. 11 is going to be under Wilkerson. 51 is an out, switch normal. It's a ground ball to third. We're checking Presley, but he does not make the error, so it's a good play. 1-2-3 inning for Jerry Reed, as he has pitched 3 2/3 innings, so I think that's going to be it for Reed, to be realistic. I don't think you're going to wear him out any further than that. You can't pitch in the whole game, obviously, in relief. He doesn't have that kind of endurance rating normally, so I mean, he's pitching well, but still you got to be realistic in how you want to handle him. So they will probably go to, boy, it depends on who they want to go to. They're going to probably go to Matt Young coming up next out of the bullpen. Just my guess. Not official yet, but that's a high probability. All right, due up for the Mariners, it will be Jim Presley as Guzman starts his 6th inning of work. Brandon, as far as I know, Kip did not play any organized ball, at least to a high level. He may have played in, high school or some sort of league like that, but I don't think he ever made it to anywhere above A ball. But that could be a good question to ask him. He certainly has knowledge, but that doesn't mean you played the game. I'm not sure, what his athletic prowess is. All right, here's Jim Presley. Clutch defense, so we skip it. 10, we're under Presley. 41, struck him out. So Presley is out of there. He's got that huge strikeout range, and he found it. 1 away. But speaking of Kip Scarry and the Bees, their next game will be against Steve Towers, New England Minutemen. So that should be an interesting matchup right there. They've swept the New York Skyliners and are now 4-3, winning 4 in a row after losing the first 3 of the season. But New England's 7-1, so there's still 3 games, or actually, Buffalo is 5-3. They swept Las Vegas and swept New York. So after losing the first 3 in Charlotte, they've won 5 in a row. They're now 5-3. New England 7-1. So still 2 games back, but we'll see what they do with those New England Minutemen. All right, Ken Phelps stepping to the plate against Guzman. 9, we're under Phelps. 81, though, is going to be an out. Left-handed power hitter. And he will ground to first. We're checking O'Brien for an error. There is none. Out number 2. So Phelps is retired. Bringing up Tartable. And boy, the offense has just gone to sleep all of a sudden. 5, we're under Guzman. 44, that says wild pitch, but nobody's on base. Treated as a ball 1. Redo. 9, we're under Tartable. 86, he's going to be out. Right-handed power hitter. He grounds to second. Checking Buechele for an error. There is none, and that's going to end the inning, and that means we're going to flip the cards over and shuffle at the end of the 6 innings. So Tartable is retired. And at the end of 6 innings of play, it's still Texas 4, Seattle 1. Real life was 5-2, so not too far off from real life, I guess. And Matt Young will be the new pitcher for Seattle, the only lefty out of the pen. But with McDowell, the leadoff hitter, coming up, it'll be McDowell, Sierra, and O'Brien. 2 out of 3 are left-handed, with Sierra being a switch hitter. So they're bringing in Matt Young for that particular case. Mike, yeah, eventually I will. I mean, there's just so many things that I've got going on. I still want to get back to my Stratomatic Demolition League. I'm taking a mini break from that right now. Playing a lot of that offline. I've got this and I've got the bees. So got my plate full right now. I will eventually get back to inside pitch. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I'm sure I'll do something. I really want to do something with payoff pitch. I haven't done a season replay on payoff pitch yet. Done one in History Maker. I've done one in Strat. And I've done one on inside pitch, but I have not done one on payoff pitch. And I'm thinking that would be an interesting one to do just to test the game engine and see how it goes. Payoff pitch and inside pitch, both very good games. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. But overall, I would think they're very, 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 very good games. All right. Matt Young, his PEEP is relief rating is an 8. So he starts off with an 8. Oh, I forgot to bring the cards up and shuffle them, didn't I? Sitting there jabbering and forgot to do my job. All right, so top of the order, McDowell for Texas to start the top of the 7th. And I think with Robert doing inside pitch, he's kind of got that covered. So I'm thinking people would rather see, somebody else play a different game just to give more exposure to more games. And so that's why I'm thinking about payoff pitch. Plus, like I said, I haven't done a payoff pitch season replay, so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do. But we'll see. You never know how things are going to go. Right now, like I said, I got my plate full with 3 things going on at one time. So if I do anything like that, it would certainly be in the late fall, early winter time frame. All right. McDowell, lefty on lefty. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, Kenyon, they are definitely sleepwalking, it would seem. Let's see if, the pitching from Jerry Reed was very good. Let's see if Young can hold up his end, but the offense has just gone stagnant against a marginal pitcher in Jose Guzman. All right, McDowell, 8. It was under McDowell. 25, and that's going to be a double for Oddibe McDowell. We'll check for an error. Double is to right field. 7-10 for an error check, but right field retardable is only a 5, so there is no error. But it is a big base knock. Oddibe McDowell, a leadoff double. Leadoff double for Oddibe McDowell. The left-right thing did bother him that time. As we start the 7th with a double. That'll bring up Ruben Sierra, switch hitter. 6, we're under Young. 65, that will be an out. Switch hit power, but it's a ground ball right back to the pitcher. He's got an E10. We do need to check for an error, and there is no error, so it's going to be an out. The question is, does McDowell move up? I doubt it. Man on second base, a G1. OBRA runner to third, so maybe I'm mistaken here. McDowell is an OBRA, so he will actually take third on that play. So I was premature in not moving him. He does get to move to third, and that's big because now Seattle's going to have to bring the infield in with the runner at third base and less than 2 outs. The infield will have to come in for Pete O'Brien. Young needs a strikeout here in the worst way or a pop out. That's a 10. We're going to O'Brien. 76 is an out, left-handed power hitter. It's a deep fly to right field, and I'm almost positive that's going to be a sacrifice fly. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Yep, runner scores. Don't even need an OBR of A. That's a sacrifice fly for Pete O'Brien. So kind of a manufactured run there. Double, ground ball, and a sac fly. And that's going to make it 5-1 in favor of Texas. 2 outs base is clear now for Incaviglia. 8, we're under Incaviglia. 47, and he's going to strike out. He's got a big strikeout range there to end the inning. But damage done as Texas adds to the lead. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. With the score 5-1, we are at the 7th inning stretch. I'm going to definitely stretch. I've been sitting down for a long time, so I'm definitely going to stretch. You guys can stretch as well. And while we're stretching, let's sing along to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right. Seventh inning stretch is complete. Let's see if it gives Seattle any kind of a boost to their offense, as they are befuddled so far by Jose Guzman. As we start the seventh, it'll be Scott Bradley, the designated hitter, followed by Spike Owen and Dave Valley. Seattle running out of outs. It's a 4 under Guzman. That's a 41. That's a walk. So leadoff walk for Scott Bradley. So at least that's what they need. They need base runners. When you're down by 4 runs, you're just thinking base runners and keep the train moving. That's got to be their philosophy. So Scott Bradley's at first via a leadoff walk. And that will bring up Spike Owen. I would think about maybe pinch hitting for Owen, but he's the only one that's driven in a run in this game. So I guess I'm going to keep him in there. 7, we're under Spike Owen. 86, that just misses the left-right split. It had to be an 87 or an 88 to get the left-right split. The 86 is going to continue to be an out. So he just missed that opportunity. What kind of an out is it? It's a fly to center for out number 1. So Spike Owen just missed that opportunity. 1 away for Dave Valley, the catcher. 8, we're under Guzman. We're under Valley. 78, that's an out. Right-handed power hitter will just pop it up to the catcher, Mercado. Out number 2, and that brings up Harold Reynolds. Last chance for the Mariners here in the 7th. 6 is under Guzman. 31, that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Jose Guzman just cruising along through 7 innings, only giving up the 1 run. It's 5-1 as we go to the 8th inning. Matt Young will be relieved. And coming in for the Mariners will be Mark Guzman, a right-hander. He'll be coming on. His relief rating is an 8. And he's going to be facing right-handers Parrish, Pashork, and Buechele. So Young just was in there for the 1 inning, gave up the home run, unfortunately. Not the home run, the double to McDowell and the eventual run. So we start the top of the 8th, Guzman to Parrish. 8, we're under Parrish. 41, that's a strikeout. Parrish has a very high strikeout range, just like Incaviglia. And he was there to strike out. 1 away, that brings up Wimpy, Tom Pashork. 5, we're under Guzman. 52, that's an out. He's a right normal. Ground ball to second. Harold Reynolds, no error. So he will make the play. 2 down for Steve Buechele. So Texas has been held in check since the 3rd inning, but those second, 3rd innings were the killers. 11, we got Buechele. 27, that's a home run. Steve Buechele got the 11 to go to his card. And then home run 24-27, if I can get it to focus right. 24-27 is a home run for Buechele. That is a 27 on the fact card. In case you can't see it, that is a 27, just so you know what it is. That is, if I can get it to focus, that is a 27. So home run Steve Buechele makes it now 6-1 in favor of Texas. And that was a 2-out bases empty home run. Almost feel like you're giving away a cheap run there, but that's just the way it works. And here's the catcher, Mercado. 7, so we're under Guzman. 82, that's an out. Right normal will pop to short to end the inning. But damage done. On the home run from Buechele, it is now 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. They're going to go ahead and take Guzman out. He's gone 7 innings. That's enough for them, they figure. And I give the bullpen guys some work. So coming in to pitch for the Texas Rangers will be Dale Mahorsek. He's a PB29. Relief rating of 6, but he's a PB29. He's going to control most of the action. And he's going to be facing top of the order in Moses to start the bottom of the 8th. 6-1 Rangers. Running out of outs are the Mariners. 5 is under Mahorsek. 42 is going to be an out. Switch normal is going to fly to right. So fly ball to right field. Sierra puts it away. 1 down. And it's not looking good for the Mariners right now. Wally the Moose, or whatever their mascot is not doing so well right now. Here's Phil Bradley. 9, we're under Mahorsek. 88. Now again, if he's a righty and he's a righty, so you don't get the left-right split advantage for the hit, it's simply going to be an out. And it's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. So Mercado puts it away. 2 down. For the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. That's a 3, so under Mahorsek. 54 is an out. Presley, right-handed power hitter, will ground to first. Check O'Brien for an error. It's a 6-10, but O'Brien's error rating's only a 2, so he will make the play, and the inning is over. So much for the Hound Dog. He is out of there. To end the inning, we go to the 9th. 6-1, still your score. Guzman still in there. We'll be facing bottom of the order, Wilkerson, McDowell, and Sierra. That's a 6, so we're under Guzman. 85, that's an out. We go to Wilkerson, switch normal. Grounds to first. We check the error chance on Phelps. He's an E4. No error. So Phelps makes the play. 1 down. That'll bring up top of the order, and McDowell, who's had a good day, singled and doubled. 2 for 4. 10, we're under McDowell. 53, though. That's the first number in his out chart is 53, so he's going to be out. And he's going to ground to first, but again, we check for an error. There is none on Mr. Phelps. He makes the play again. 2 up and 2 down for Ruben Sierra. And Sierra's had a good day also, single and a double. 4, we're under Guzman. 83 is an out. Switch power. We'll line it to second. We're checking Reynolds for an error. He does not make one. That's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for Texas, but they didn't really need to do anything. They lead 6-1. And Mahorsek now will be relieved. He did his job, one inning thing. It's not a safe situation, but it's always fun to bring out the wild thing. So they're going to bring out the wild thing, Mitch Williams, just for the heck of it. He will be in to pitch the top of the 9th, or bottom of the 9th rather, against Phelps, Tartable, and Bradley. A couple lefties, so we could see some pinch hitting going on. And in fact, Phelps will be called back, and Dave Henderson will pinch hit for Seattle. So Henderson's going to pinch hit. They'll worry about defense if they happen to be lucky enough to get it to extra innings, which is not likely. But Dave Henderson, will pinch hit to give a righty to go against Mitch Williams. 10, we're under Henderson. 58, though, is a strikeout. So Hindu cannot do on that one. He strikes out for 1 away. Had the ball in his court, so to speak, but couldn't get it done. Here's Tartable. 3, we're under Williams. 88, there you go. The left-right split again. Strikes again for the 3rd time. Right-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher, 88. Base hit. So as soon as I start ragging on not having enough splits, there you go. Comes up for the 3rd time in the game. And Mr. Tartable gets the leadoff single, or not leadoff single, 1-out single. They will call back Scott Bradley, the DH, and they'll bring in a pinch hitter for Scott Bradley as well, as they look to a right-hander. I'm not sure who they're going to bring in. You know what? Bradley may be better than what they got on the bench. Barry Bonnell is a righty. Kearney is a righty. Ramos is a righty, but their numbers just aren't good. So we're going to stick with Scott Bradley. He is a DH after all. He is 1 for 2, so might as well leave him in there. See what he can do against the Wild thing. Maybe he can draw a walk. 2, we're under Mitch Williams. 85, that's an out. Bradley left normal. Grounds it back to Mitch Williams. He's an E10, but there's no error. And on the E1, this could be the game-ending double play. Let's check the charts with the runner. And I'm over my microphone. Sorry about that. Just knocked that over. Hope that didn't cause any issues. All right, man on first, a G1, double play grounder. OBRA is safe at first. Bradley is an OBRC, so he cannot be safe at first. It's going to go 1-6-3, and the ball game is over. The Rangers defeat the Mariners 6-1. They won the real game 5-2, so not that far off from reality. Winning pitcher, of course, was Jose Guzman. The loser was Jim Beattie. There was no save, but Texas wins it by the score of 6-1. And in case you're wondering what kind of microphone is knocked over, this is a little thing I just bought off Amazon not that long ago. I had been using one of those microphones that clips to your collar. Lanyard, I forget what they call it, some official name for it. But I bought this little, it wasn't that expensive. I bought this little microphone off of Amazon. It's nothing high powered. It's just something maybe to, so I'm not, if I need to walk away, I'm not stuck there with a cord hanging on me, so that's why I did that. Like I said, it's not anything big, no big production. I'm low budget, so. But I tried a couple times. It seems to be working okay, so we'll go with it. All right, so that's going to do it here from Seattle. Unfortunately, if you're a Mariners fan, you come on the short end of the stick, 6-1. Texas, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, kind of put it away early. A lone run by Seattle in the fourth gave them a little bit of hope, but then Texas added insurance runs in the 7th and the 8th. So, hope you've had a chance, if you haven't already, I hope you had a chance to go back and watch yesterday's History Maker Buffalo Bees game. And the next video on the channel, I may try to sneak a game in on Stratomatic on the Demolition League sometime midweek. But right now, my main focus is working on the next game in the History Maker series. That will be on there every Friday night, Fictional Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday, I call it Fictional Friday, where I bring out the Buffalo Bees and do their season replay. And I've never done a season replay in fictional on History Maker. I've done it for the Atlanta Braves 1987, but never done a fictional one. So. And I'm writing the storyline as it goes. And that's kind of what History Maker is all about. You just write your own storyline. So as I finished up the New York series, I sat down that's what made me late coming here. I was writing up the storyline for the next game against Seattle to figure out what Kip Scarry is going to be saying and how Ronnie Robinson will react and who they're going to interview on the pregame show Hive Talking and all that stuff. So kind of been putting a lot into that. But I would like to possibly get the Red Sox in Arizona in Stratomatic Demolition League 2015. I would like to get that on a video during the middle of the week, so I have something to go with besides just the Friday, Saturday thing. So hoping to do that maybe sometime in midweek. Payoff pitch is going to be in the rotation very shortly, and like I said, down the road I would like to do a payoff pitch season replay. Not sure which season I'd want to do. Possibly 1972. That's one I bought recently. That's a possibility. I like the older seasons, so maybe do something along those lines is a possibility. On the game of the week, of course, next week, we're back to inside pitch, and it's going to be those dreaded Yankees against the White Sox. That was an actual NBC game of the week, which is why I picked it. And then the week after that, payoff pitch, Braves and Mets from Shea, and that was also an actual NBC game of the week. So the next two are going to be actual NBC games of the week that I'll be going by. So if you don't like the teams, blame NBC. That's what they put out there. So hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Of course, next weekend you're looking at the July 4th weekend. So nice 3-day weekend for most of us, I would think. So hope you can enjoy that with friends and family and play whatever game you choose to play on your tabletop and or computer for your hobby. I also play on the computer. I play Action PC. So I do a lot of things off camera that I don't put on camera or on video. What do you want to call it? Brian, how is Gracie? She's doing actually amazingly well. She is back to almost 100%, not quite 100%. She does limp a little bit, and I do have to help her up and down the front steps. But if I pick her up and carry her down the steps and put her in the grass of the front yard, then she can walk around all she wants, and she seems to be okay with doing that. She even went next door to visit the dog next door yesterday. Kind of caught me off guard. I really didn't want her doing that because that's how she got hurt in the first place, was going over there. But she seemed to do okay, and she's definitely eating well. So, thank goodness for that. I was definitely, not sure how things were going to go there about a month or so ago, but knock on wood, she's doing very, very well. I just didn't want to say a whole lot about it because right around that same time is when Anthony had to euthanize his dog, and I really didn't want to be doing praises on one end while one of our friends is going through troubles. So that's why I didn't want to do that or mention it. The only reason I mentioned it in the first place at one time was because I wanted to explain why the game of the week was not live, why it was a video replay. That was the only reason why I really mentioned that. RJL, I didn't know, is your uncle, maybe I missed something. I didn't realize your uncle was not doing well. Hopefully he is doing better. Hopefully IDJ is doing better. I know he has had some health issues at some point. We like to see people in the community stay healthy so they can keep playing games. And for those who do videos, put out videos, definitely like to see. I spend more time watching YouTube than I do TV, it seems like. Whether it's RJL or Replay Gamer or IDJ or Al Red Sox or Dave Gardner or Uncle Ron or Tenacious Earl or whoever happens to be putting out a video at the time that I can see, I'll check it out if it's out there. So that's pretty much all from here. Unless you guys had any questions for me, I can answer real quick. I'll be happy to answer any question you have, if you have one. Not much else to say about the game. It's pretty nondescript 6-1 Texas victory. So if you're a Texas fan, great. If you're a Seattle fan, not so good. If there's anything else you want to ask me or whatnot, I'll be happy to stick around for a couple minutes and chat. If you got more important things to do during the day, like I probably do as well, then maybe we just go ahead and call it a day and be done with it. But like I said, next week, it'll be Inside Pitch's turn as the rotation comes full circle. Will be the Yankees and the White Sox on Inside Pitch, NBC Game of the Week, next Saturday at noon. Hopefully I'll be on time next Saturday. And then on Friday, before that, Friday at 6 p.m. will be the Fictional Friday Buffalo Bees baseball taking on the New England Minutemen of Steve Tower fame. And we'll see how that plays out. I may reach out to Steve Tower and see if he wants to give me a lineup to use for his New England Minutemen. If not, I'll just make up a lineup as best I see fit, and we'll see how it goes. There will be no Fernando De La Rosa, however, because the pitching rotations were on the third starters. So the series will be starters 3, 4, and 5, not 1 and 2. So we'll miss out on Fernando De La Rosa, but they'll be playing New England again very shortly, so we might bring up De La Rosa once again. But for the New England series upcoming, there will be no Fernando De La Rosa sighting. But when Steve Tower does he's doing Fernando replay, or Minutemen replay, and he usually videos the Fernando games. You can check that out. Let's see, what else is there? I think that's about it. Like I said, I'm going to try in the middle of the week, maybe on a Tuesday, if I can get a game in either today or tomorrow to record it. I'm going to try to get the Demolition League Boston at Arizona. Red Sox at the Diamondbacks, still in Series 9, right before the break to flip over the calendar to the second half of the season. May try to do that, and hopefully do that either Tuesday or a Wednesday. Not sure. Probably we'll shoot for Wednesday, sometime around Wednesday at noon. If I do it at all, it'll be on Wednesday at noon that I upload it. So some people like to watch stuff at lunch, so could do something like that. Not sure. I don't want to overload too many videos. I don't want to, overstay my welcome, so to speak. Like try to pick my spots, and kind of my niche here is this game of the week has been a niche for a while, but the fictional Friday is kind of a niche I've kind of fell into. I try to do it at 6 o'clock so that other people want to stream and whatnot on Friday night. I'm not in their way. I'll be out of their way by 7:30 at the latest. So that gives people plenty of opportunity to stream right behind me, and I'm not competing with anyone else. That's why I picked 6 o'clock on the East Coast. All right, so I thank everyone who was in the chat with me. Kenyon Gray, Brian B., Old Man Music, Brandon Baker, Jeff Merklin, I'm sorry, mispronounced that. Mark Levine or Levin, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Mike Eisenberg, Joel Turney. Did I forget anybody else? I think that's everybody except Brian B., if I didn't mention you earlier. Replay Gamer, don't want to forget about Replay Gamer or the Forever Main. Thank you all for being here as well. And of course, last but not least, Robert from RJL Network as well. Looking forward to starting his 1961 inside pitch replay. That's always a lot of fun. And Robert will keep you entertained. Even if the game's not entertaining, Robert will be entertaining on his own just by playing inside pitch. He has such a passion for the game, and it comes out in his broadcast. So that's going to do it from here. Again, the final score, Texas 6, Seattle 1. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday wherever you are. Hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.